because a lot of people worry about their dogs when they're separated from them. Now, of course, some dogs get strong abandonment energy and they get stressed. But even once a dog is regulated themselves, which could be the mirror, they do a lot of interdimensional travel whilst they are sleeping and not being in the same presence. So you could say that your doggies are with you a lot more than you think.
Welcome to another episode of Spread Your Third Eye. I am your host, Samia Wrights, and we have our beautiful guest, resident guest, Georgia Jean.
I love being a resident guest. Thank you for having me.
Oh, should we introduce our little other
yes,
guests?
We have some special guests today.
Gunny.
Yeah, Gunny.
And Gus.
Yes.
The little Dotsons. And maybe this will give you a clue of what this episode is going to be about.
What could it be about? What could it be about? Let's tune into our psychic powers and figure out what this episode is going to be about today.
Gunny, I'm going to ask you to not touch the mic.
Yeah, he's just, his little nose is just like scraping past.
So relationships with pets.
Yeah.
And human beings. She obviously channels
the
circle of light.
That's
12th
right.
dimensional beings and beyond.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we should just say, this is like our 2-year anniversary for the first time we got together to shoot Spread Your Third Eye. So we've been at it 2 years, everybody. Woo! So if you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed yet, because look at us.
Give us a 2-year anniversary present.
We've got headsets now. We are getting pro-am, cranking it up every time with more stuff. So buy my girl here, Mia, a coffee if you've been enjoying the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will receive. Anything you want to say before we bring in the circle of light?
I think should we just bring them in? I'm already feeling the energy, and
yeah.
I feel like the dogs are also heavily vibing in. I will say actually, speaking of pets, I'll share a little story about how I trusted that I was actually something was happening to me after I had the event where I connected with the Circle of Light, who are a non-physical collective here to help the evolutionary shift of the planet. They blasted into my life 2004. And they're like, we're here to help the planet. And you're going to help us. And I was like, what is going on? And so I was like, I had a dog at the time, Neville. And he had a limp. We got him from South Central Pound. He was a pound doggy, and he had this limp, and I got it with my roommate, and we were like, okay, well, let's see how it goes. But if the vet was like, it's not that bad, or it's like a $2,000 operation, and we were both like really poor and stuff. So we're like, let's see how it goes. But anyway, after a while, his limp was getting really bad. I had the massive event, and I suddenly had all this energy flowing through my hands. So everybody was witness to this. My roommates, he'd been limping for a while, and I was like, okay, if I really do have this healing energy happening, then I'm going to work on his leg, and I'm going to work on it every day for a week and just see how it goes. And if this is really happening, that I now have healing energy flowing through me, I should be able to help his little leg. And I literally worked on him once, and he never limped again.
Wow.
Until when he was way, way, way older.
Yeah.
But he had that limp for like a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. He had whatever it was, and it just went away, and that was it.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, this is really a confirmation that something's going on, because it's pretty hard to believe this stuff is happening when it's happening until you get some validations and stuff like that.
You need the validation.
Yeah. So Neville was a big, big part of that. Yeah. And I dreamt about him the other night, but he was in the form of a red Dachshund, which we had as a child. I had a red Dachshund called Jemima. And so it was like Neville and Jemima mixed together. So cute. I think that's why the doggy show.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
They're like, talk about us.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they have to say. And I've heard a lot of people, prophesize that these doggies are doing energetic work, or animals, cats, they are looking into other dimensions. So I'm really curious to see what the Circle of Light has to say.
Yeah. And Neville was very freaked out by the energy when I worked on him. He was about however old he was then, like 2.5 or 3 or so. He was younger. So he was all like, ugh, he didn't like it. But as he got older, and you can hear him on my conference calls, him shaking around in the background and stuff like that. As he got older, then he got more comfortable with the energy and would lie in the room while I did my calls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then as he was this is a bit of a sad story, but I'll just share it. As he was in his last year, there was one day where he was just all really tired, and I just knew he was on his way out, and I was like holding him and crying and being like, if you want to go, I'll be okay. If it's your time to leave, I'll be fine. And he just looked at me with this like droll look on his face, and he was like, bitch, you're not going to be okay. All right. So I did some energy work on him, and he really revived the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. But then when it came down to the time, it was, of course I was very devastated. I knew it was getting close, and I went to do more energy work on him, and he was like, no more energy work.
Oh, wow.
It makes me cry. So then we let him go. Yeah. Yeah. But he was my soul dog. He was, once you've had a soul dog.
Yeah, I've had.
It's kind of like, I don't know if I can have another one.
Yeah, I get that.
But he anchored me because that's when I was doing stand-up. And I was all ready to go out on the road, and he was just like a terrible traveler, and he didn't, he really like anchored my life. Like I couldn't really go anywhere or do anything.
That's how my dog Joey was too. It was an anchor.
An anchor for this time of his spiritual development.
Yeah. So then the next chapter was, well, I guess these guys, but.
Oh, your first dog was an anchor?
In my 20s, I could have done more if I didn't love my dog so much and not want to leave him. I wanted to travel more, but I couldn't.
Yeah, that's interesting. You had the same thing. Interesting. Kept us wild kids a little more tamed out there.
Tamed.
Yeah, put it in the comments below if you've had a pet that's kind of, anchored you or like it, because at first it was like, oh man, dude, I love you so much, but you're kind of ruining my career. But spiritually it was what I needed.
Yeah.
Then when he died, I discovered skydiving. But have you had a pet out there that's kind of sort of course corrected your life? But I would never ever turn back the clock on having Neville. I would do it all over again. Have you got some questions in the barrel? Because we just came up with this very quickly before the show. We're like, let's get the dogs in. Let's get Gus and Gunny in and then do it. Okay. Well, I'll bring them in.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, indeed, dear ones. We are here, and we are most delighted to make connection with you here on another magnificent day in your earth plane. Yes, it's always a great delight. We are ready to answer your questions, dear ones.
Yeah, with dogs and pets, are they like soulmates that are brought into our lives and predetermined?
So predetermination is a very interesting thing because you are in a constant state of creativity that is emanating from your choice points that you're making along the way. So there are agreements energetically that really almost, if you really want to look from a broader perspective, are happening in real time. Consciousness is always happening in real time. So even your idea of predetermination is something that's happening through your linear mind because you have linear time.
Okay.
So people, in their desire to explain in between lives, this idea of planning lives and all of this sort of stuff, it is a way for you to understand that there is a pathway in your life. But the pathway in your life is really created by the consciousness cocktail that you incarnate with. The consciousness cocktail meaning how you set yourself up biologically, the parents, all of this sort of stuff. So if you were going to give anything predetermination, it starts with that consciousness cocktail. And animals really are an aspect of your consciousness cocktail when you have a very powerful connection like that, just in the same way that you have powerful connections with friends.
Yeah.
It's because your consciousness cocktail has such a strong alignment.
Okay.
It feels destined. It feels it's meant to be. And it is, because that's what powerful alignment is. So we don't want to detract from that idea of something being meant to be, but it's just such the strength of the alignment that you have in your consciousness cocktail makes it feel predetermined. Yes.
So when they come into our lives, what is it like for them in terms of living with human beings? Why would they incarnate to do that? Are they in a way like a guardian angel? Are they doing energy work with us? Can you explain why they would make that choice point themselves?
Indeed. Yes. Very good question. We'll just take a moment here with the channel to deliver this. You would be amazed because, and again, we're speaking to pets where you have a very strong alignment with, how much of you they understand, how much of you they are in tune with, how much their consciousness is processing your consciousness simultaneously. And that's why they sort of know sometimes when you need them. And of course, they have their own little personalities as well. And they are mirrors and reflections. And you have a co-creative experience, because sometimes a pet might be here to teach you some patience or to get you moving your body more, or they always expand. A lot of the times why people resist getting pets is because pets by their nature are going to change your life. They're always going to expand, and they're always going to bring something forward that's unknown to you and kind of be with you in that growth journey together. But in terms of their consciousness, are they completely separate? We would say no. Are they... when you are relative to a pet, so when you have the animal sitting on you right now, their ability to understand and process you is way beyond what you're probably thinking of. And they're also in that way that they are sort of Venn diagramming with you. Do you know what we mean by Venn diagram? Venn diagram is with the two circles and there's a crossing over.
Yeah.
So that crossing over point can contract and expand.
Okay.
But they can really Venn diagram right in on you and really understand you very, very well. And it's that depth of that connection that people crave and seek, especially when people don't feel the depth of that connection to source or to a relationship partner. It is a vibrational, energetic experience that the connection is very real. Yes. And that can, for some people who haven't experienced a lot of connection in their primary upbringing, in their childhood, because we're not just talking about a presence, we're talking about a sense of alignment that is part of themselves. So when dear ones feel, for example, disenfranchised from their families or from the families of birth or other things, a pet connection can be, it's like a spiritual thing, quote unquote, in the sense that spirituality is about connecting to source. So it's quite profound indeed.
Well, now I feel bad because I talk crap on him sometimes because he barks so much. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, do they understand? Now they know. I thought it was secret.
Well, you're yelling at them, so.
Do they know what I'm saying when I yell at them?
It might not be that big of a secret.
I'm going to have a family meeting after this.
Apologies all the way around in the doggy community for the world. Well, of course, as we say, they are extensions of you. And so sometimes it is...
I'm talking crap on myself.
Yes, indeed. Where is there a mirror in terms of what is that personality aspect?
Super loud and annoying. I literally just hurt my own feelings. I am super loud and annoying.
all the time.
No.
That's why you have two, because the other one is snuggly and cuddly and sweet. So as you can see, you can do your integrative work with your doggies.
Yeah.
George's doggie, of course, was very headstrong. And
oh, is that it? Is that it? Super genius.
He was very bright, but headstrong, stubborn is what we are saying. So while she was having her consciousness cracked over and over, the mirror was her stubborn-headed doggie.
Yeah. Well,
to soften in the end.
I'm sure a lot of people could relate to this, right?
Indeed,
now.
Yes. And as we say, because they're sort of weaving in and out of your consciousness in this way, sometimes they are showing you an aspect of self, something you have to do because you love him anyway.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
And so there's inner child aspects that are also getting that love, that unconditional love. Like, it's okay.
I'm not crying like sadness. I'm just crying because I was laughing so hard. Yes. My feelings aren't that hurt.
but that part of you that may feel super loud and annoying can understand that it can be unconditionally loved anyway, because you can unconditionally love your dogs. You're still going to feed them, keep them around, snuggle up to them, all of these things.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that happens between animals, and of course different animals have different flavors. Of course, we've talked about how oceanic animals like the dolphins and the whales are helping to balance the energy grid frameworks of the earth as they're moving around doing their thing, and pets are very like that, helping to balance the energy frameworks around the house.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are they doing around the house, and are they also helping ground us in a way energetically?
Indeed, because when you are patting your pet or being really connected to your pet, you're really in the now moment with them. And because they are, for a lot of people, a relationship with a pet helps them to regulate their nervous system or learn how to regulate their nervous system. Even when the doggies are being a little bit naughty, sometimes being more stressed about it isn't as helpful as learning how to attune in. And this is why people have therapy dogs and horses and all these sorts of things, because they provide a lot of vibrational feedback. Okay. So there's always a kind of vibrational feedback going on. And of course they have their own personalities, but that way they kind of move in and out of your field is this sort of balancing. And when you're away from them, because a lot of people worry about their dogs when they're separated from them. Now, of course, some dogs get strong abandonment energy and they get stressed. But even once a dog is regulated themselves, which could be the mirror, they do a lot of interdimensional travel whilst they are sleeping and not being in the same presence. So you could say that your doggies are with you a lot more than you think.
When you mean with you a lot more than you think in terms of when they're doing interdimensionally travel?
Well, when you're out of the house, they're still kind of with you.
Really?
But they're sleeping and yes, the consciousness is still going out there with you a little bit. Yes.
They're consciously traveling interdimensionally, or is it something like us dreaming where it's more unconscious and not controlled?
So not controlled. So animals are different in that they don't process the human egoic framework that has more psychology in them. Yes, animals have psychology in them because, as we say, there is that merging with you. So there is that part of you, so they have some psychology. But they're not governed in the same way as being sort of saying, oh, she's left the house. Now I'm going to go out of body and be with her. It's more of a happening. Animals are much more in a state of happening and beingness. They're not as strategic as humans are.
So what about cats? What are they doing that might be different from dogs in terms of interdimensional traveling, being more tapped in psychically than dogs? What would be the difference between dogs and cats spiritually?
And greetings. Thank you for your patience. We are attuning in. You could say we are cat consciousness. And whilst we are friends with the dog consciousness, we are, as many might say, in the feeling that we are higher dimensional from the dog consciousness. So our capacity to be multidimensionally present is much higher than dog consciousness, but we are also not quite as enmeshed as dog consciousness is with their owners. And so if you were to think about a hierarchy of intelligence or consciousness, but also emanating from you, just in the same way that there's you and then there's your quote unquote higher self that has less of the imprint of the ego, so it sees a bigger picture. The point at which cat consciousness merges with its human is higher like that. Dog consciousness is merged more at the personality level, where cat consciousness is merged more from a slightly more neutral, broader perspective. Cat consciousness's purpose for incarnating, there's a little bit more of an intrigue in the creative experience of life as well from the cat consciousness, meaning cats enjoy the creative experience of being embodied with a more independent sense of that than dog consciousness. So generally speaking, as a collective, dog consciousness incarnates to be connected to human consciousness. Cat consciousness incarnates regardless, would incarnate regardless. What sustains cat consciousness in the creative experience of experiencing a life is its own curiosity more than dog consciousness. Dog consciousness, and we are talking about this kind of domestic dog, dog consciousness isn't as interested in an incarnation without a connection to a human experience, because it's just the nature of that co-creative experience. So cat consciousness is more for its own experience.
Yeah. The cats do more healing on human beings than dogs do when they purr or when they come around. I know after I did ayahuasca, a cat came into my room in the resort I was staying at and came and scanned my whole room and laid with me as I was integrating. And then I never saw the cat again before or after that. And I'm not sure a dog would be as in tuned that way as cats.
There is, and of course we speak generally, but again, yes, the cat consciousness is more connected to the higher self aspect, a higher self frequency bandwidth. Don't tell the dogs.
They already know.
Then the dog consciousness is. A dog would be sensitive to you, especially if it was your dog, but on a different level. Correct that cat consciousness is more attuned to the vibrational field of the reality that it is experiencing. It's also just living life.
But what was a cat doing in my room, scanning my room after I'd done ayahuasca? What was it doing? Was it weaving timelines? Was it grounding? What are these cats capable of, and what would their intention be to do something like that? That's just an example I'm giving as to why they act different.
Yes, it is understood. So always you're in a co-creative field with anything that is in your reality. You're in a co-creation. And so, as has been expressed, cats also have a deep sense of curiosity about reality and can be sensed into an energetic field in that way. So we would say it's as much curiosity and feeling a different bandwidth. When somebody has taken ayahuasca or done something like that, they have altered, at least temporarily, the bandwidth that they're experiencing reality in. And so they are emanating a different collective of frequencies at that time while that gateway is open, or because things always start to close down over time. So the cat also is sharing a curiosity with the field that you're in at that time, and maybe playing, we would say, playing in that field with you to feel how it is shifting its own energy.
Okay.
Yes. So we'd say that cats, we have more interest in the whole thing as opposed to just you.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, does it feel like a guardian energy? Well, whenever anything feels aligned in a co-creative way, they can feel that sense of a security in a shared field like that.
Okay.
But it isn't necessarily that their intention is to serve you.
Which dogs have more intention to serve, it seems like.
Yes, dogs are wired to be, let's say, more purposeful towards their human friends.
What can we do per their requests in a way to make their lives better, have an ideal life for our pets that maybe human beings don't know yet?
It's very difficult to give one size fits all because every animal and human are in their own co-creation. So how to tune into your animal as opposed to being given you should be doing this, or you should be feeding it more this way, or you should be doing that. How to be attuned with your animal. So you're opening up your pathways where you can know them better, and that they can know you is what you're really seeking. And of course, as always, the return to the idea of the heart centering is always going to balance the field between the co-creative relationship between animals and pets, because or humans and their pets, or animals and people in general, because you are in a co-creation with them, and heart centering is always going to balance out and release a lot of the mind programs in the human collective that creates suffering. So we would say humans can be getting a little bit too worked up about being these perfect parents at this time, and that being just in your heart, just connecting with your animal, and it's really to help you to become more present to yourself. When you are present, when you're in your heart, when you're in present, you're in that infinite field of communication. And that knowingness exchange of what your animal needs can happen. When you're in more of an anxious, worried state, feeling more obsessive about it, the ego mind is in the way of you just being in a state of connection with the animal. Always connection is the best communication. So we would say, take more time to be present with them. Use the tools. Of course, patting helps to bring you into your body, into the now moment, into looking at them, all the ways that you would be in a state of appreciation. Even if you're getting upset about how your animal is being, try and come back to yourself and into the now moment and relax so you can open up that pathway of connection. It's really the same advice for you and your children as well, because broader intelligence is able to communicate the quieter that the mind is there. But no animal is the same, so there is not one way all animals should be treated. But to value them generally, of course, always is the way that you can also hold the same energy field together.
Tell me about the future with animals. I see now people using buttons for cats and dogs to speak, and we're all very surprised about how much they know and they're thinking.
Yes.
Is there more of a future with humans and animals in terms of like outwardly
a deeper telepathic connection?
And outwardly, just speaking with these buttons or the telepathic way?
So the buttons really do help people see that animals hold a powerful consciousness, and there is a communication going on. And the more you want to develop that, the more you can have it. We would say multidimensionality ultimately is leading to having more of a direct knowingness of what your animals are saying. This is what pet psychics essentially are doing, is they are able to read the thoughts of the animals and tell you. But there's no reason why you can't all be developing more of that. And actually, it's part of that expansion in creative consciousness, because remember that the 3D framework is survival based. And so the service aspect of animals was to serve the survival, where animals have been used a lot and often not well in service of human survival. But as you're moving into the 5D, which is literally you are moving beyond survival consciousness, controlling your energetic system and therefore how you generate your reality. Now animals come into service more with the creativity and the play that is part of the 5D framework. So we would expect to have a lot more creative interaction with your animals as opposed to service-based interaction.
Before we close this out, why don't you tell us about how animals are communicating with each other? Dogs, different cats, crows outside, all these. How are they communicating? And do birds communicate with dogs in a different way? Do cats communicate with dogs? Is there a whole language in the animal kingdom?
Indeed. So remember, outside of these little bodies, it's all frequency. So communication in the ecosystem of plants, animals, different species is very vibrational. It's very, yes, animals will bark, animals will do physical things, but they do have a broader consciousness that is very highly vibrational. And this is why, for example, herds of certain animals will know long before just the physical senses are activated that there's predatory energy coming. But remember also that, and this may be challenging to accept on some level, is that within animal consciousness, there's also an understanding of the balance of the ecosystem, and that animals eat animals, and that some things are going to eat each other, and that it looks like some things are dying at the paws of other animals. Animals also understand that there is an ecosystem that needs to be balanced. So sometimes a group of herd animals that would feed a group of predatory animals will not run away, even if they know, because it's part of the balance cycle that animals eat animals. Now, we will say that there are many species, though, that will, your understanding of the species that you have on this planet will also change, because as the frequency changes from, say, more from the survival and therefore those predatory styles of relationship to more creative and expansive animal relationship, you may see that some of the more predatory animals begin to phase out because it's just not the bandwidth that you're all going to be in.
So you're saying that they'll go vegetarian, or or they're actually going to not, well, we won't have wolves and tigers and
there may be some species that you observe going extinct, yes, because the nature of the game is changing.
Wow.
But you would observe that as extinction. Now, a lot of, though, remember, of these animal ecosystems are more complicated than that's a predator and that's it, because one animal being a predator may mean that actually other animals are surviving. So it isn't just that those ones are going to go and those ones are going to stay, but certain species will phase out. Remember, you're experiencing life as a perception in a bandwidth. So you just don't see them anymore, but they still exist. Your human experience says, oh, it's gone extinct, but it still exists in another bandwidth where the vibrational framework is keeping them. You'll also see animals come back from extinction. Animals reappear. And you'll say, oh, well, that's crazy. How did that happen? Because you moved bandwidth. Wow. You move bandwidth where the animals now still exist. Now the mind will create a storyline. Oh, there was this little pocket in Argentina where no man had been, and a few of these survived, and now that species is growing again. But it's because you're moving bandwidths. And you are the generator of what bandwidth you exist in. So we always want to bring it back to that you're the generator of your bandwidth. So if you really love animals and you are emanating that love and you're focused on that love and you're dissolving the resistance to that love, then you'll see animals flourishing in your reality. So even when you see animals experience hardship, it's going to help you work the energy of what that hardship is in order to move to another level where animals are thriving.
Wow. Okay.
Now, we don't want to seem to be light about the idea of animals going extinct or this sort of the other, but we have to keep it real that ultimately you are focused. What you perceive as the experience of animals is going to be based on where you are projecting your life in all consciousness and the bandwidth that you are on. So the more you dissolve your wounds and deconstruct the egoic framework that generates suffering, the less you're going to see the suffering of the animals.
That's great.
Yes. It's a powerful thing you can all work on to realize that they are a reflection of what the singular and the collective egoic framework is creating.
Okay. So there's a future where we can all live in harmony in a peaceful world where there's not a lot of violence in order to survive.
Indeed, absolutely. That is the promise of the 5D. You're still very much going through this deconstruction of the energetic frameworks that are the survival framework, which is why you are seeing a lot of that has been hidden in the subconscious of humanity. We're not saying people are hiding things from you. We're saying it is hidden in your biological belief structure that you have this very violent survival-based program running in your biological system. And this is what ends up being perpetrated against other species, other human beings, all of this. But you need to see it. You need to own it as part of your biological makeup, so you can then dissolve that, choose collectively to dissolve those programs and allow other programs to come in where you can exist in a more harmonic relationship without all the suffering that you perceive. Suffering is a core frequency of the human 3D framework, but it is not necessary in consciousness. It's not necessary in consciousness for you to perpetrate suffering against other beings in order for you to survive. That's simply the program. So we say delete the programs.
So how do we delete the programs? Well, one, we're actively working on that on the Monday Night Awakenings, guys. So
yes,
if you guys
indeed.
are interested in that,
yes,
I just recently had a huge shift because the circle light came in and deleted a lot of ancestral programs on a biological level.
Yes.
And I woke up the next day, and I'm even feeling it today. And, it's been 3 or 4 days, and I'm definitely noticing a shift.
Indeed.
On these Monday night calls. So
yes.
That's one way to delete biological
Well, we will
programs.
Invite you to do an episode on the architects of the avatar.
Okay.
Because that will help you to understand more about the nature of the programming that's within you that generates your reality. See, you don't have a loud, barky dog right now.
No, I do not. I'm not annoying right now.
Remember, so much of you is coming from programs of collective biological belief systems that you're allowing to surface to see. What was the barking for? To get attention, to survive.
Mm.
When your animals are barking, it's all about survival. It's either feed me or somebody's here. I don't know who this is. So that's the survival program in a dog. That's also your survival program.
Okay.
This is why we say if you have a very agitated pet, then maybe you want to, even if you feel yourself to be very calm, because you are part of the human collective experience, deep inside you have the survival programming, to continue to work on observing it, bearing witness to it, choosing to live in a different framework. That's not saying I'm going to abandon my capacity to survive. It's saying reality doesn't have to run this way. Let me get into that. And that happens really with the heart centering. So it's good for you. It's good for everybody and everything. It's good for the planet because it really does have the map of how you can coexist in a different reality.
I look forward to it. I'm already feeling the difference.
Indeed, yes. And your pets are very excited for it as well.
Aww.
You can, when you feel anxiety about your pets, one of the ways, if you've had to leave them behind somewhere, you can also just close your eyes, touch your heart, think of them, and let that connection be there, and they will feel it.
Wow.
Yes, they will feel it. You can tell them when you're coming home.
Okay.
For their physical body, remember, like you, the physical body has different programming from their energetic system.
So I can tell them I'm coming home Monday or I'm coming home in 4 days?
Yes,
Would they know I'll be back. Time like that?
Well, they're going to just feel it more like the connection point is there.
Okay.
Yes, yes. But if you're worried about it, that's something you can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know he has a hard time with it.
Yes, yes. So he looks very happy right now.
Yes,
and he is.
Loves his mama.
Yes. So enjoy all this wonderful creative energy in the forms of different animals and different aspects of you. And it isn't just about supporting you. And animals are transmitting to you things you might need when they're out there astral traveling or whatever you want to call it. If there is a parent, an animal parent, an animal mum or dad that's having an issue, an animal can be sort of exploring the vibrational field for what's going to help that person and sort of bring those downloads to them.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's great.
Fetch. It's the ultimate fetch.
Ultimate fetch.
Go fetch me some good programs.
They're astral traveling the universe and all consciousness. They can bring down ground new codes for us.
Bring new codes. Bring new codes a lot from the things that will help you in your material life. Mm-hmm. Not so much the astrals, the galactic.
Okay.
More how codes from your material life.
Okay.
Which could be codes to find a better job or codes because they're about a comfort.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Baby.
Yes. So they love you very much. They are of you. You are of them. Some of them you'll have and pets can realign as well. But when they're really aligning with you, they're sharing a lot of consciousness. Wow. Yes. Yeah. And this is why if you get a stray pet that might have been hurt or wounded, with your presence, you can harmonize the wound out of them and share that consciousness so they can experience a bountiful life with you and lose, quote unquote, some of the behaviors they may have developed from those misaligned experiences.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So don't give up on your strays.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Keep adopting them.
Oh.
Indeed. We adore you all so very much until we're meeting in this way or some other way. We love you very much. And for now, we'll say goodbye, dear ones. Goodbye.
The cat energy. The cat consciousness.
The cats are where it's at. They're more like, I'm here living my best life.
They're like, hey, I'm just like playing over here. But I'll let you know when I come back.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm
so
here for you, but not really.
Yeah, I'm here for you, but kind of, if you're interesting. If I like you. If you provide me with things that please my curiosity about. But I did get the sense of that they've got that broader picture. That sort of, so when they do come as a co-create, like that cat came with you, they do seem to be bringing something a little extra.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The dogs seem to be like, you're more about the fundamentals, aren't you?
The dogs are a lot more personable. And like your man's best friend is a dog.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, such a good boy.
They're such a good doggies. They behaved very well during that. We've always been...
As long as they're held, they're happy.
Could we have them in the podcast? Would they be good? But they were perfectly...
They're great. You guys are invited back.
You're invited back. We're like, are they going to run around and create carnage and kick all the... cameras over and
no, they're good boys. No. Do you have anything to say?
See how they're all kind of coming back out and they're all tranced out with that too, I think.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, see? Getting restless now.
How was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like that cat consciousness coming in where you feel a little
Cats, of course, saying they're kind of better than us. Whatever. Whatever.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I know I did. There's a lot of gems in that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was sweet. Yeah, it was good fun.
To be continued. We love you all.
We love you all. Bye. Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. Bye.